So you want to start living more eco-friendly, but you're not sure where to start. You scroll online, see all of these zero waste jars and the climate doom headlines, and suddenly it feels impossible. Take a deep breath. I've been where you are. It's not as impossible as it seems. You don't have to be perfect. You just gotta begin. Hi, my name is Crystalline, but you can call me Chris, and we chat all things mind, body, and planet on this corner of the internet. I believe that sustainability should feel easy and cozy and fit perfectly in our everyday lives, not be overwhelming. And it definitely should not feel complicated. So today I'm sharing how to start your eco journey from scratch without the overwhelm. Step number one, just get curious. You can't change what you don't understand, so the first step is to just learn as much as you can. Start learning in a way that feels good to you. One of the ways I like to do this is by following other creators on the internet that talk about sustainability in a way that feels good and not in a way that makes me feel guilty about what I'm doing. I'll put some of my favorite creators up here on the screen. Feel free to screenshot that, follow them. I love all of them. I've met a lot of these people in person and they're just as nice as they are online. Other things you can do to continue to learn more about sustainability and what it means. There are a lot of different podcasts out there. I used to have one, but I have not published an episode in a very long time, but the old episodes are still out there and readily available. So that podcast is the Mind, Body, Planet podcast by Crystalline Geyer. I will link that below for you if you're interested in watching any of those episodes. In those episodes, I do a lot of deep dives with guests talking about different factors of sustainability, from community action to retailing and shopping local. I mean, there are a bunch of episodes about a lot of different topics. There are also other podcasts out there that you could listen to with very intelligent people who are able to dive deep onto very specific niches of sustainability, like way more than I could ever think that I would ever know. And then of course, there are a ton of resources online, from blog posts to articles being written every single day. Sometimes what I like to do is Google good climate news and then click the news section on Google, and that will show a bunch of related topics that are new and upcoming. You can also pick up a book about slow living or minimizing your food waste. Even one chapter of a book can shift how you see things. And of course, you don't have to buy a bunch of books in order to learn. You can always check out books from your local library. Those are completely free. But here's the key. You gotta fact check before you spiral. So many times I have seen headlines and articles and viral videos talking about climate issues, but it's not the full story. So it's really easy to watch one clip, one piece of something, or read one headline and start freaking out. Don't do that. You need to fact check things. And a lot of times climate news can be sensationalized. We know it. We've seen that in all other facets of news. Unfortunately, it's just how it is. But just know there is a ton of misinformation out there. So just because you see one viral TikTok video that's telling you that the oceans are disappearing does not mean that is true. If you watch that video and feel concerned about it, my suggestion would be to go to Google, search up your question, and then get the real information. Not every scary headline deserves your peace of mind. Step number two is rethinking how you're spending your money. Think of every dollar that you spend as like a tiny vote for how we want the world to be. It doesn't mean you need to go bankrupt by buying eco brands, because we know that a lot of times those can be more expensive and not everyone can afford it. But it means aligning your values with what you're purchasing. This can look different for so many different people, but maybe it's buying oat milk instead of dairy milk. Maybe it's carving out extra time to shop secondhand instead of just buying online fast fashion. And maybe it's as simple as just pausing before impulse buying something that's trendy. This looks different for everybody, and you'll have to figure out what this means for your lifestyle. What is your budget for these kinds of things? What is important to you? How can you align your values with where you're putting your money? Like I said, every dollar is one teeny little vote for how you want the world to be. And if you have issues impulse buying, I've done several videos on how I've cut back on my impulse spending. I'll link one of them up here. But my favorite rule to help cut that habit is the 7-day rule. That's essentially putting something that I think I want on my notes app on my phone, text it to a friend, text it to yourself, whatever works for you, and wait 7 days, 1 full week, to see if you actually want that product. A lot of times I find by the end of 7 days, I look back at that list and think to myself, I actually don't want that. It was just something I wanted in the moment because I happened to see it, I thought it was cheap, and I was like, maybe I want this. But I'm always so glad when I put things on my 7-day rule and I end up not buying it, because 1, it feels like I'm saving money, and 2, it's less clutter in my house for me to inevitably donate a couple years down the line. If I forget about it, it means I don't really want it. And if I do remember what it is, then it's probably something I will actually end up using. Step number 3 is starting small and using what you have. So let's talk swaps. And this is where people usually overthink it. A lot of people go into it thinking they need to throw out everything they currently have in favor of things that are more eco-friendly and sustainable. Stop. Don't do that. Don't do it. First of all, you're just wasting money doing that because what you had before, if it's working, it's working. There's no need for you to get rid of it. The best solution to it is as you're using things around your house, acknowledge what you would like to swap out at some point in the future, but continue using what you currently have. Use those items until they don't work anymore, until they're completely out. Once they no longer work, if they're covered in holes, if you're out of cleaner, at that point, when you're buying something new and bringing it into your home, now that is the opportunity to bring in a more eco option. I know it's really fun to go on the internet and look up minimalism and see people with a bunch of matching sets or an entire cupboard of mason jars and sustainable gadgets, but in reality, that's not the most sustainable thing you can do. The most sustainable thing you can do is just use what you have, take care of it, and once it's done, then you can introduce a swap. If you're looking around your home right now and you're thinking, okay, well, I know I'm ready for some certain swaps, but I don't know exactly what swaps I want to make first. My suggestion to you, and hear me out on this one, just give me a chance, but look in your trash can. I know that sounds weird, but it's actually really beneficial to look in your trash can and see what you're throwing away the most. Are you using a lot of plastic utensils? Paper plates? Maybe you're throwing away sandwich bags all the time and you realize you're just spending money on disposable items that you're gonna throw away. Those are the items that you'll probably find the most value in swapping first. So if you're throwing away a lot of plastic wrap, this is your sign to maybe look at beeswax wraps as a reusable alternative to plastic wrap. If it's plastic baggies, maybe switching to a reusable brand like Stasher Bag is something you'd find value in. The swaps list is really endless, so if you want a list of my personal favorite swaps that I swear by, I'm gonna link my freebie down below. It's a free PDF file for you guys. It just has all of the links that I could possibly think of, plus my favorite tips and advice. So if that's of interest to you, that's down in the description if you want it, because small swaps actually do matter and they do add up after time, especially when more people are doing them all together. Step 4. Build a local community. I know this doesn't really sound like something you would hear in a how to be more sustainable video, I know, but you'd be surprised at how impactful having a community in your local area is. One of the most meaningful parts of sustainability is community. Going to your local farmers market, joining community clubs and leagues around town, even volunteering at things like park cleanups. These are all great ways to meet people in your community that care about the same things that you do. Plus, it can remind you that real change starts close to home. Also, just an important note to show up for your local elections if you're eligible to vote. I know everyone talks about the huge presidential election that happens every 4 years, but there are actually elections that happen every year, sometimes twice a year, depending on what's going on in your local election council groups. So if you want to see real change in your community, electing officials who believe in the same values as you is so important, and those people can't make office if people like you are not voting for them. So it's super important to show up for your local elections, not just the big national ones. Last but not least, stay imperfect. You don't have to do it all, you just need to keep trying. Use what you have, learn as you go, ask questions, and build a routine that fits your life. What may work for one person may not work for you, so take what resonates and leave the rest. The internet has its own definition of what perfection looks like, and a lot of times that perfection is not actually what perfection would even be. It's just one person's opinion on it. Also, shameless plug, if you need help resetting and refreshing your routines, I have a 5-day guided email challenge. It comes with a huge Notion template that I put together with little challenges to do each day for 5 days. I've done it myself. I do it every couple of months because I find it so impactful and so beneficial, because sometimes you look at your routine and it just feels so overwhelming to have to restart it and refresh it. So it's nice to just have a simple step-by-step guide for stuff like that. All right, that is how you can start your eco-friendly journey in 2026. Let me know in the comments what is one small change you're planning on making this week to be more eco-friendly friendly. I want to hear. I'll be cheering you on from the sidelines. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more to join our lovely Mind Body Planet community over here. And remember, it's not about doing everything. You don't have to do it all. Even just one thing is better than doing nothing at all. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Thank you.